Hello my dreamers, welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel if you're new. We are so happy to have you here. Today we're going to be coloring part 3 of our July color along. I am so excited. I actually just finished recording part 2 and I'm already diving into part 3 because I cannot wait. I'm so stoked. I hope you guys are as excited as I am. I really hope this page turns out well. So if you haven't watched the first couple parts, I highly recommend doing so. But anyways, we've been working in Hannah Lynn's Fierce and Fancy Fantasy Faces, and the page that we've been working on is Lotus. So this is what we have done. In part 1, we colored her hair and the lips, and then in part 2, we colored her skin and her makeup. I think she looks amazing already, but I have a feeling after this part, she is just gonna look chef's kiss. All right, so I'm just gonna grab a couple things and then we're gonna dive on in. Okay, getting a little ahead of myself. We need to color her eyes first. Darn it. I want to dive into the fun stuff, but we have to do this in the proper order. So for her eyes, I'm thinking like a brownish yellow. Hopefully this turns out okay. We're going to start by basing with the ginger root. Basically, I'm using the similar colors that we're using on the cattails, but I'm just going to add maybe a little bit of extra color and dimension to them. We'll kind of see. As always, I have a couple pieces of paper in behind this page to protect the pages behind it. So we're just going to lightly base with the ginger roots. Let's go in with the dark umber here. Okay, let's move in with our next color, which is the light umber. So I'm just going to bring that in over top of the dark umber, and I'm going to bring it out from there. I think this is looking good. I'm not quite sure what direction I want to go with her eyes, whether I want to keep them dark or maybe a little bit lighter. I don't really know. I do want to add some of the light aqua though, I think. Let's just test this out and see. So I'm going to add a little bit of that along the bottom. And then let's throw in some of the light green as well, kind of in the center here. Okay, I do like that. Let's go back in with the dark umber. We do want to darken these up a little bit more though. So add some lines into her eyes here. So just little soft flicking motions, kind of like we did with her hair. Just add like a line kind of coming this way. We're gonna make her eyes look really, really interesting. Let's do kind of one more at the top here on the inside maybe. Okay, let's go back in with the light umber. We're still gonna do little circles. It's okay if it kind of fades our lines out a little bit. We want them a little bit more subtle anyways, so it's gonna work in our favor. And then let's add in one more layer of the light aqua and the light green. And I think with the light green, I'm going to use this to go over everything and kind of burnish it. Beautiful. Okay, so now let's tackle her eyebrows. I'm going to grab my black grape. And I'm going to bring these back out just by going over them. Nothing too fancy. Don't mind the odd hand angle there. Actually, while we have the black grape, let's also line her lips. All right, so now I've got a bunch of pencils, or felt tip markers. Actually, these are just studio markers. They're super cheap. I'm gonna start with my black. I'm just gonna start adding some little dots. I'm gonna kind of cluster them a little bit more at the ends of her eyes here. So they're gonna be a little bit more noticeable, and I'm doing a couple big ones here and there, and then mostly small ones. And then as we go out, we can kind of lessen them up. Beautiful. And I'm just going to go in through with some colors. We're going to do dark green. It's the one that I'm picking up next. Same thing with the dark colors. I'm going to kind of put them more towards the darker areas and then just do less dots in the lighter areas. So this is kind of like the same as creating a gradient with pencils. Like we have the darker area and then it fades into the lighter area. We're basically doing the same thing except with dots. Okay, dark blue is next. Then we're going to start in with our lighter colors. So I have a light blue. We can try and add some of the light blues into the darker area, or the lighter colors into the darker areas as well. It's not going to be as noticeable, but I might add a little bit. So for the most part down here, the lighter colors, I'm going to kind of keep them around the lines that we have, but I'm going to put a couple outside the lines. And it's just going to create a little bit more of an interesting look. It's going to make her eye makeup look a little bit more full. Okay, we got green next. This one we don't need a whole lot of. My green is not very noticeable. And you might think that we're done there, but we are not. We're going to be adding white, and that's really going to make it pop. So I'm going to use my Posca pen for this just because it's probably a little bit easier. You definitely want some white in the shadows. That's where it's really going to pop. Don't want it to be too much though, just a little bit. But we can do more down here in the lighter areas. Look at the difference that makes. It's just incredible, that little bit of white. I mean, this already looks gorgeous, but just look at what that adds. Just gonna add like little white dots kind of just all along the bottom of this part of her eye. I'm gonna do the same here before we add all the dots so you can kind of see what I mean. Kind of like that. I think I'm even going to put just a couple on this black part of her eye too. Might be too much. I might go over that with the black and get rid of it actually. I don't know about that, but it's up to you. If you like it, you can leave it, but I'm thinking that it's actually not as effective as I was hoping it would be. Okay, we don't want to add too much. Let's give her lips a little bit of a glow there. All right, we're gonna wait for this to dry before we go in and add some more. There's still a couple other things I want to do, so we'll start with these then. Should be okay here. So let's just base these with the ginger root. And then we'll just dive on in with our shadows and just start coloring them. So using the shadows that Hannah has as a guide, I'm going to start on these. Be mindful that this isn't dry. So we definitely don't want to be running our hand through that at all. All right, we'll go in with the light umber next. So just bringing it out slightly from the dark umber. I want to leave a little bit of a highlight in there. It doesn't have to be super big or anything. All right, we're going to put another layer of the ginger root just kind of over top. I'm kind of blending the shadows in a little bit too. So I'm not really working in perfect circles. We're kind of working from side to side to kind of blend the shadowed colors in towards the center as well. Okay, once we've got that, I'm going to come in with the canary yellow and I'm just going to give these a little bit of a yellow glow. Because why not? All right, let's dive back up to her eyes. I don't have to move this too much. Let's add the black. I'm going to unclip this and I might have to turn my book, so I apologize if there's like any awkward book turning or anything, but definitely I don't want to mess up this part. So using my black Posca, I'm going to bring her eyes out. Just want to look at the other page to kind of see, use that as a guide because I can't exactly see her eyelashes right now. I'm not going to close it all the way up. I'm just going to leave our pencil work there to kind of do that. Color in her iris here, and then we'll outline, or sorry, color in her pupil here, and then we'll outline her iris. I always get those mixed up. Beautiful. I'm going to have to turn my book this way to do the other side. Had to improvise a little bit there because I think I messed it up. So I'm just going to add another one on the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 5 and 6 is fine. I'm going to also add just a couple on the bottom here. Kind of like that, I think. This little dot that I have up here kind of looks like an eyelash, so I'm gonna just add an eyelash looking thing to the other side to kind of make them look the same. There we go. Should I make any of the dots on her eye makeup more black? So I'm thinking Posca Black is very dark compared to the other black. It might add some more depth. I don't think I'll do very many big ones, but let's add just a couple small ones in here. Yeah, I like that. It helped out a little bit. This eye is looking a little funny, almost like it's like watered down. So I'm gonna try to add a little bit more black to that, and hopefully it goes away. Okay, let's color these parts next, and I think I'm gonna keep these parts kind of similar to her eye makeup. So we're gonna start with the spring green for a base. These are gonna be pretty dark. I wonder if these should be brown or if those should be green as well. I'm gonna go with green. Okay, sepia is next. So again, I'm going to use Hannah's Grayscale shading as a guide. All right, kelp green next. And again, just kind of like the eye makeup, this is mostly just going to go over the sepia to give it that green brown look. Apologies for the sun. It's a little bit cloudy, so it kind of comes and goes. Hopefully the lighting's not too bad when it goes. I think I'm going to bring the kelp green out a little bit further than the sepia. And then just lightly fade it out, but still lightly color over it, because I don't want these to be very light. I want them to be dark. I don't really know what I want to do for the greens. Should I just... wonder how the ginger root would look, actually. Yeah, there we go. Let's do that. We will blend and varnish with the ginger root. All right, and now that her eye makeup should be completely dry, let's go in and add some highlights to her eyes. think that looks good. A little bit different, but good. All right, now that we have her eye makeup done, I just want to post a teaser to my I don't usually like teasing the whole picture. I'd like to do just like one eye, but then it makes it look all fuzzy. That's not bad. Okay, I like that. I never finish my sentences saying that I'd like to post a teaser to my channel members. The moons and rainbows. I'm getting a lot better at knowing which tier gets what. So, yeah. Let's color her chopsticks, because I think I'm going to do them the same color as the cattails, just minus the yellow. It's not like a whole bunch to these, so it's not really a lot of area to add detail, so it's mostly just going to be pretty basic. Mostly trying to pop a shadow in kind of along the bottom of them and then where they disappear into the buns. Right, and let's just finish this off with the ginger root. I think with the where is it here? The black grape. Might not be the same for you, but there is a few just kind of like random areas that are looking really light, or like that grayed out look that I was talking about with like the grayscale lines. I just want to kind of fix those and darken them up. Just the spots that look kind of funny. I think that's better. I wonder, I'm just going to try something. I can get rid of it if I want to. Just want to try adding like a highlight to her nose, maybe. I like that. I don't want it super harsh, that's why I'm kind of making it a little bit more subtle with my finger. All right, let's move on to the Lotus. Or should we do the water first? Have we used the spring green? I think we did. I think we must have, because it's on this side. I have everything that I might use on this side and everything that I have used on this side. So if I mix them up, it gets confusing sometimes. Don't want to do that. Let's do the water. Probably think that's a strange color for me to grab for the water, but I have a plan. We're just throwing all the colors at this page. I wanted to keep recording into part 4 as well to get this up for you soon, but the weather is not cooperating, and I really don't want to bring my ring light out. It always washes it out, and I really don't like that. Okay, so the warm gray is going to go mostly in the shadows, so where Hannah has drawn in the shading, we're going to go over it with this. You got to be mindful of what's water and what's lily pad though, so that makes it a little bit tricky. Okay, next is indigo blue, so this is going to go kind of over top of the 90% warm gray. And I'm going to do a fair amount of layers with all of these colors. Not that I'm going to cycle back through them, but I'm just really going to lightly add in this color and make sure there's lots of pigment on the page. Okay, once we have a decent amount of that down, we'll switch to our next color, which is going to be the cobalt turquoise. We want to add this in while still leaving highlights, if possible. We can always use our Posca pen to put highlights back in. But we want these highlights for adding in our lightest color as well. Next color is supposed to be the gray green light, but I think I'm actually going to add some deco yellow in here as well. Let's do that first. I'm just going to add this. Ooh, should we just do deco yellow? Look how pretty that is. I don't know. Might be too much. Just hold on. Give me 1 second. Let's do both. Let's go lightly in with the deco yellow. We're going to add the deco yellow to these highlights that we have, but we're still going to burnish and blend with the gray green light, which is the one I picked out for our highlight. It's not using small circles. I'm mostly doing coloring going horizontally. I always love this effect with water because it kind of gives it like a painted look and it looks so pretty. We are going to go back in with our fine liners here. Just a little bit on her shoulders. I'm going to put up a couple of random dots here and there too with the light green, since it's not super noticeable, but it's subtly noticeable. I think that balances it out nicely. With her eyes, I mean. Who knows, maybe mermaids have shiny shoulders. I mean, I'm assuming she's a mermaid. She could just be a woman sitting in the lagoon. It's hard to say. But I imagine she's a mermaid. This is kind of how I'm going to combat the darkness that's in here. Just with a bunch of tiny little dots. So that way it's not as noticeable. I'm not going to be able to fully do this till the lily pads are colored, and I think we might actually leave that for part 4 because we're already almost an hour in, and I really don't think part 4 is going to take long. I know I always say that, but there's really not much to color. We are going to color the lotus, but we're going to leave the lily pads and the background for part 4, and then any other final touches, glitter, that kind of thing. So much white. It's completely necessary though. There, I think that definitely helps the glow effect. I think that is necessary, 100%. So yeah, now we're just going to color the lotus, and then I think that's going to be it for part 3. So I looked it up, and lotuses are pink. I do want to add some deep shadows in here though, so I'm going to use the black grape to kind of tie her hair in a little bit. So I'm just adding a little bit of this into where we've got really dark shading. I'm going to try and leave the outer edges of the petals white. We want those to be relatively light, so I don't want to add too much to them if I can avoid it. All right, mulberries, our next color. I should probably make sure that we're in frame. Okay, I was pretty sure that we were, but it's always good to check. Okay, so mulberry is next. Just gonna put this in over the black grape and then start fading it out immediately from there. I don't want a whole lot of this. All right, hot pink is the next color. Just gonna sharpen this. Okay, so we're gonna put this in over top of our deeper colors, and then we are just going to bring this out. And again, I'm still trying to leave some of the edges white. Okay, from here I was gonna do light peach, but maybe I should do white because I want to keep the glow really soft. Ooh, or even cream might look good, but I might not go with anything that we have already. Let's try the cream. It's another one that's a baby pencil. Oh, yeah, that is beautiful. Okay, I'm glad we went with the cream because we're going to be covering up the outlines with white anyways. And then the cream gives us the yellow. That would make sense with why the glow around this is yellow. We're not going to do the whole lotus. I just want to give you guys an idea of what this is going to look like. Go. Oh, I think this might be water under here, so we might have to quickly add that in before we forget. If I leave it for the next part, I'll probably forget about it. And I would rather do it while we have the watercolors out anyways. Colors of the water out, not watercolors. Add some bigger shines in here, some little stars. I'm going to do a couple of small ones on her eyes here. There. Okay, so just for this part of the water, it's going to be relatively dark. So I'm mostly just going to color this in with the darker colors. So we'll do the 90% warm gray. I think that's the only water we're missing. Go over that with the indigo blue. And probably skip the cobalt turquoise. Let's just go ahead and burnish that with the gray-green light. Yeah. All right, that is what she's looking like so far. Oh my goodness, I am obsessed with her. Those eyes. Just absolutely gorgeous. Those eyes alone just bring the page to life. I honestly don't even know if we'll need actual glitter or where we would put it. I think if we add glitter, it's probably going to be to the water, and that's it. I'm not sure what to do with the background, but I was thinking what I was thinking is this one. I know it's kind of hard to see, but kind of starting off as like purple and going up into yellow. I don't know if it would be too much or not. Like, it's a very, very bright background, very bold, and it's either gonna look amazing or not. And I just don't know how it's gonna look. So we could do one like this, kind of like more greens. That might make her eyes pop a little bit actually. I mean, green might actually look okay too. I kind of like this one. I don't know. I'm gonna have to keep thinking about that because the background can definitely make or break a picture, and I do not want to break this picture. Anyways, that is what we have for part 3. I hope you guys are loving this color along as much as I am. If you are enjoying this, I would really appreciate it if you could give this video a thumbs up so that other people can find it. And if you're not subscribed already, I would really love if you would consider doing so. We'd love to have you here on the channel. I think that's it. And I really can't wait to see you guys for part 4 where we finish this beauty. All right, guys, as always, take care, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Bye!